Oh, the screen went off.
No, let's give it a second to turn on it. Okay, so let's start this lesson. Right? Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, the glory, and honor to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Machakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Ahchyam, out there pushing this word out. Truth and sincerity. You know, I just linked up with the brothers out here, I just felt like, even though we're gonna chill or whatever, I wanted to just throw up a lesson, set up the sacrifice to Yahweh Yahweh Shai, even though this may be just a short lesson, but the title of this lesson is going to be some brothers go through trials to teach others, and that's a sacrifice in itself, because you would have to be that brother to be the experiment, all right, in order to gain the knowledge to teach others, okay, and that way other brothers don't have to go through the same level of trial that you go through in different instances, and that's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes brothers can get depressed behind that, or feel a type of way about that. Why is these brothers don't have to go through this, but I got to go through this, or whatever the case may be. But like the Most High said, he said, "Are not my ways equal? Are your ways equal? And my ways unequal? His ways are equal. He knows exactly what he's doing, and there's a method to what he's doing, and there's always a benefit, even though there's always a benefit through the suffering. Okay, there's something that's beneficial through the suffering. Okay, it tells you that in I think Hebrews, it speaks about they chastised us for their pleasure. Okay, you can get that one, Baba Kusha. All right, you can probably start off with that unless you got something. Yeah, that's okay, go ahead.
This is Luke 22 in verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
Yeah, when you're converted, when you're brought to a higher level, after you go through your trials, because like you said, Satan was testing him, right? You're supposed to also help to build up the brothers. And Peter had a big trial because Peter was the head, right? So, there's more things, more demons and things like that falls on the head. And a lot of people don't understand these different things. And, they think it's all sweet. They think it's about, sending brothers to the store to get snacks. That's not what being a head or a leader is about. Okay. It's about, really being a servant unto others. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, Yahweh Shai said, the greatest among you shall be a servant. That's what he said. Go ahead.
That's an awesome. 1 Peter 5 and verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. It says, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
Yeah. So the same things that that we go through, other brothers are going through too. There's a brother out there has been through or is going through the same or going to go through the same thing that you went through. Okay, one way or another. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, if I may add to it, this is Peter that wrote this epistle. So this is him basically bringing back what Yahweh Shai told him, how that Satan was desired to sift them as wheat, and then he told him that to afterwards strengthen your brethren. And when he wrote this epistle, he basically gave words of encouragement unto brothers that's going through the trial. So basically he told them, resist the devil because all the brothers are going through the same thing. I went through the same thing. So that's basically him applying the teachings that Yahweh Shai taught him, man. He went through different obstacles, different trials, and here this is strengthening up the brothers, the body. Like the title of the lesson, certain things we go through, is to teach others afterwards, man. Because even the apostles, they speak about different things that they went through, beginning stages of the truth, things that being in the elements, people throwing eggs, I'm saying piss, things or whatnot, different things that they're going to jail, we didn't go through things like that yet. But that's, them passing down their experience, unto us, man. And even when it comes to other things of how that to maneuver whenever, I don't know, you're having trouble with, baby mama, this, that, and they give you advice because they went through it so that you could avoid, going through the same things. Or if you're going through it, they give you the steps that they took in order, to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to despise the instruction of those men either that have been through it. Okay, you're supposed to look at that instruction and say, listen, this is going to help me and guide me down the path that I'm trying to go. Okay, sit on that. Okay, you got something?
Yeah, I got what you asked for. Hebrews 12 and verse 10. For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 9. It says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit.
So every time he chastises us, it's for our profit. So someone being more chastised, there's more profit in it, especially if he's learning from the chastisement. See, that's another thing. You could be getting chastised, but you're getting chastised and you're still on level 3 or level 1 because you're not understanding what you need to learn. So you keep going through the same loop over and over. You don't want to do that. Okay, that's like those in the wilderness. Right. Going in circles. It was right there. They could have got there in a month? I believe it was like a month they could have got there. But it took them 40 years because they didn't want to get right. So certain things you got to cut off and you got to just get right so that you can move on to the next stage and continue to get benefit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness.
Right. Because we're supposed to be made holy. We're supposed to be made separate from the world. Okay? So I get mad if I feel like, there's someone in the world that can kind of, they're kind of on my level with something, dealing with, character or anything like that. I don't like that because we should be far beyond these people. Okay? That's it on that?
God.
Okay. You got something about?
It says here in Matthew 11 and 28, then Yahushua said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens. It's like it's in the NLT.
Okay.
And I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you. Because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find peace, and you will find rest for your souls. Okay. So again, Yahushua teaching us, because again, he was one that was acquainted with grief. Why? His whole life, you see in the gospel, his whole life was fight with the flesh, battle with the flesh, but with the whole mission of Yahushua. He gave the author and finisher of our faith. Okay, so we learn of him. And who was more afflicted than Yahushua? No one. It says even in the flesh, it said no man was marred more than him. Okay, so again, he is the perfect example of suffering, to be an example for everyone. Okay,
that's right. And you got brothers, or many examples, for different reasons. Certain brothers have some serious trials that we couldn't imagine going through. Certain brothers, man, they're going through some serious things. you know. But there's a reason for it, you know, and it's to teach them something, and then in turn they have something to teach us brothers, you know. And then you yourself may have something that you're able to teach other brothers, man. So don't take this affliction as, you know, the Most High just picking on you. No, the Most High knows who He's putting in what situation for a reason. But
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is James 5 and verse 10.
what's that? What's that?
I think it's on Discord.
No.
This is James 5 and verse 10. It says, "Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering affliction and of patience." It says, "Behold, we count them happy which endure. For ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy."
The word patience means what? To suffer.
Yep.
Okay, it means to suffer. All right. So, you know, there's tests and everything too when it comes to patience, man. Okay, there's tests in everything, man. Every day, you know, the Lord sends tests all the time. You got to be able to be spiritual minded to recognize the test, man. All right. Sometimes the test comes with women too. Okay, and you know that's the thing. But you know, dudes can be strong, you know, in other ways and in other situations. But when it comes to women, a lot of dudes get weak. All right. I want to say most men get weak when it comes to women. Okay, that's something that's like, man, you conquer that, man. You're a true warrior in the spirit, because that has made kings fall, right? King Lemuel's mother said that. Said, "Give not your strength into the ways that destroy kings."
Yeah.
You know, so you know you can learn from that, man. You know how to subdue your lust, because lust is powerful. They say that your sexual energy is the most powerful energy, right? So to be able to conceal that is great power. That's great power to be able to conceal that, man, and to not let that control you.
Yeah.
Because the all these dudes you see out here, they're pretty much controlled by that.
Yeah.
One way or another. You know, even if they're not. Oh, I'm not dealing with these women. These women are out of order. All they're doing is looking at the screen when they get home. Yeah, Vaseline right there, all day.
Tripping.
Yeah. Okay. They don't even take the Sabbath off. Okay. So that's still controlling the ass, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to the point too, because you know, like for the instance in the boxing world, you know, they abstain from women whenever they have a major match coming up.
They do.
You know, proving to you the point of how, you know, your sexual desire or power has power.
Yeah.
You know, because even men of war, if they would abstain from the woman before going to war. An example that comes to mind is when King David went to get the shewbread. The priest said, "Men that are with you, have they laid with any woman?" He's like, "No, they didn't lay with no man, because we're going on a king's business right now." You know, showing
focus,
you, you know, you're not supposed to be 24/7 lusting and, you know, looking.
Because you lose your jing.
Yeah.
There's something called jin. Your jing, okay, in ancient Chinese medicine. Okay, your jing, it stores up, right, when you abstain from sex.
Right.
Okay, and when you have sex, you lose that. You lose some of that jing. That's like your reserve, your saving of chi. That's like your saving of chi, and that also is tied to power.
Right.
Okay, that's why if you notice, if you bust a nut, the next day at the gym you're weaker. You are weaker. I've done the test. I am weaker. I can't do as much dips. I can't do as much pull-ups. And I counted. I tested multiple times. Okay? So it does take from you. And another thing that takes from you is alcohol. After you drink, the next day you're weaker. You are weaker.
That's true.
Okay, do the test. Do the test. Go to your max, and then go to your max, and then if you end up busting or you end up drinking, try to do it the next day. Okay?
You have to build up that strength again.
You have to build it up again. Right? It's not like when you do it that it's
completely gone.
It's completely gone. It needs to be repaired. It needs days to come back and to be repaired. But if you do it excessively now, that can take away your power. Men do get weaker. Okay? You got something else?
I got some real quick. Just a quote from Game of Thrones. Lord Varys, which was a eunuch, he said, "When I see what when I see what desire does to people, and what is done to this country, I am very glad to have no part in it." That's because he was a eunuch. It says, besides.
And what's the definition of lust? Desire. Go ahead.
It says, besides, the absence of desire leaves one free to pursue other things.
That's true. Very, very true, man. First of all, I think that was the best show ever created.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's on point, man. That's on point, man. Because now you can focus on other things. See, dudes ain't focused on other things because they're more focused on the box.
Yeah.
The box got their mind. You understand what I'm saying? The box has their mind, man. You know, right. when they're thinking about the weekend, they're thinking about the weekend, but they're also thinking about box on the weekend. You know, so everything these men do, whether it's the car they buy, they're not buying it to necessarily show off to the boys. They're buying it to get women, to attract the attention of women. The clothes, when they put on the clothes, the way it fits. Why are they putting on the clothes to make it fit a certain way? If you're chilling with the dudes, I don't care, what shirt I put on. I come to see the brothers, right? But the woman the aquaf I might see after, the ayasha I might see after. I'm gonna want to make sure I'm looking good, smelling good, you know. So men, that's how men operate, man. They do everything for women, and it tells you that even in Zerubbabel said that, man. He broke that down, man. So, but yeah, so the point of the matter is, some brothers are gonna have to go through these trials and tribulations to to teach other brothers, how to master it, how to avoid the mistakes that he made. Okay, and that's a true friend, by the way. A true friend doesn't want his friends to go into a bad situation. Even our parents, man. This place is so wicked. Even our parents don't even want to put us up on game. That's how wicked it is. They don't want you to do, better than them. Like literally, a lot of parents have that energy. Especially Jake. Not really the heathen so much. Mostly Jake. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, that was it on the. Yeah. But I got someone wants to.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. 2 Ezra 7 and verse 8. And only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Right. So I brought that out because, this walk is likened onto a path that we're embarking on. But this path, there's rank and file. There's men in front of you. There's men behind you. Right. But the point being is that the men in front of you that are ahead of you in this path, you learn from them, from their experiences, the things they went through. They're going to pass it on to you. Kind of reminds me of the Squid Games. If you're in front or behind somebody, you have to observe them to see, this person went this way and that was an error that ended up hurting him. So I'm not going to go that way. This person went that way, but that's what this, this path, this truth is about. That's what it's like.
Yeah, it's heavy. Let's sit on that. Okay. You got something about?
Yeah, it says here in Colossians 1 and 24, I am glad when I suffer for you in my body, for I am participating in the sufferings of Hamashiach that continues for his body, the church.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so again, Paul is, in a sense, he's saying that he's happy to suffer for the body, because again, he's teaching the body. Okay?
Yeah.
Again, this, going to suffering, okay, for the suffering of Hamashiach, okay, but it's for the church, the body, it's for the people.
He said, I endure all things for the elect's sake.
That's it.
So that's showing you your suffering is not just for you. Your suffering is also for others to benefit. And that's a part of charity. That's a part of love. That's a part of sacrifice. Okay? Yeah, and then you have to look at it like that. Because he endured, and then didn't just endure, but he's passing it down to others. Okay? Go ahead.
Yes. It says here in 2 Maccabees 6:24 as an example. It says here, for becoming not our age, say he, in any
You
wise.
got niggas that'll do something and they'll know how to do certain things, and they don't want to get like you might be working for them, and they don't want to tell you the 411 on the job. They don't want to give you how to really do things because they want to keep you on that same level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not someone that really cares for you like that. You understand what I'm saying? Someone that cares for you is gonna give you the 411. Oh, you do this and that, this and so you put this here, you put that here. You know, so that you can be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, they don't do that because he's gonna steal my spot.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's a selfish mindset. You know.
And it's not spiritual because no one can steal your spot if that's meant to be your spot.
Yeah.
Period. It's not. First of all, it's not even us who chooses the spots. It's Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai who already chose us. The spots have been placed in the foundation of earth anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't see how anyone can steal your spot. That's it on that.
It says here in 2 Maccabees 6:24, for becoming not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, now were gone to a strange religion, so that they, through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and many longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my own age and make it abominable. For though the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hands of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. So again, Eleazar going through the sufferings of having to choose between eating pork or following after Yahweh Hashem and choosing death. So he chose death so that not only he would suffer for it, but again, that would not lead other people astray.
Right.
So he chose to suffer, give for the name of Yahweh Hashem to show an example unto the others.
Right.
You know, that it's better to die for Yahweh Hashem than to be a demon just so you can please the people in the world. Man.
Yeah.
And again, you will not escape Yahweh Hashem if you do so.
Right. The Most High won't be pleased with that. Right. The Most High wouldn't be pleased with something like that. You see, but he could have easily just faked like he ate the pork and really ate the lamb and be, oh, I didn't eat no pork.
Yeah.
It feel good like he didn't sin, but that would be not that would be doing a disservice to the rest of the Israelites. That would be doing something wicked to the rest of the Israelites as a bad example. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, verse 31, and thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a notable courage and a memorial of virtue.
Yeah, so that was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That was a sacrifice for his brethren.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what he's written about, man.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead. And if he's back now, he's in the truth. Okay?
That's it.
Go ahead.
Not only unto young men, but unto all his nation.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Right. That's it. And it's the same thing with those brothers, those 5 brothers.
Yeah.
You know, and the mother. They were left as a sacrifice and an example. Okay? But there's a great reward for them. You know, don't get it twisted. There's a great reward for that sacrifice. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai knows how to give the best payments. Okay? Go ahead.
Yes.
This is 1 Peter 4 and verse 12. It says, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, and as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So, you know, don't think this thing, when you're going through, you know, some trial and tribulation as if it's some strange thing, you know, because ultimately it's for your betterment, right? Because in order to reign with Yahweh Shai, we got to suffer just like he did. You know, and like we're going through in the lesson, a lot of the sufferings that we go through is to, you know, have the experience and then pass it on to others after, you know? Because that's how it is, you know. The Lord says men in a rank and file order, like we said, some come earlier than others and some later. And those that come later, they're going to need guidance, you know? It's like that with anything, man. You know, the person that has more seniority within a job, he's the one that's going to be training newcomers. You know, showing them the ropes. You know, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that, boom, boom, bam. You know? So when you go into something, sometimes you basically, okay, maybe I'm going to do this just to, you know, teach another person that's going to go through the same thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and the other brothers that's learning, you have to do the same thing. Because there's gonna be brothers, there's gonna be another influx of people through the spirit. So, you got to teach them similarly, about your trials and the things that you went through and things that you've seen and whatever the case may be, in the truth, what you've learned, what you've picked up, along the path. Because like you said, they're in front. You're in front of those ones, so you got to show them, man. Go ahead.
That was on my okay.
Is it on that? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. It says here in Sirach 6, and it says here in verse 34, stand in the
Hey, man, in Acts, there was a time when a bunch of influx of people came in, thousands at one time.
Yeah.
We got the internet. You don't think the Most High is going to do a serious work and bring in a bunch of people through the internet at one time again? Go ahead, bro. I'm talking about the real truth. I'm not talking about the IUIC. I'm not talking about a bunch of people marching in the IUIC or the ISUPK. I'm talking about the real 100% truth. The great millstone. Go ahead, bro.
It says here in Sirach 6 and 34, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
Right. So you got to be attentive to the parables. You got to be attentive to the words and through the dark sayings and the advices, man. Okay? That way you can be built up. The Lord giving you things you need to hear that he wants you to hear so you don't have to go through certain things and you just cast it behind you. And then you go through the thing you don't want to go through, and now you're on your knees, you're in the rain. So your knees in a puddle. What? Come on, man. If you just took heed, you would have been you wouldn't even have to do that. Right? Because that's why it says wisdom is what? A defense. It's a defense from these things. A hedge. Excuse me. Okay? Against evil. You see? Go ahead, bro.
It says here, if thou seest a man of understanding, yet thee be time unto him, and let not thy foot, so that can let thy foot where the steps of his door. So again, being willing to hear, being willing to learn from others' experiences. See, it's important because someone, let's say, who's older in the faith can tell you about the truth and his experience, but if you don't hearken, if you don't take heed, it's on you, man. So you have to. I believe you mentioned that not too long ago. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from others' mistakes.
That's right.
So that's we're built to be wise. We're following after wisdom.
Yep.
So again, like you're mentioning, our elders went through things. We go through things for the next people for the other ones that come after us. So we can teach them through our experience and show them the right way, so they can avoid the pain, the suffering that we went through, and they can remain in that straight path.
Hey, Yahweh Shai learned through his mistake as King Solomon. That's why he didn't even deal with women. Right? So he learned from those mistakes, knowing who he was. Okay? And as Adam, actually. Okay? Go ahead. Okay. Good, Brian.
This is Hebrews 5 and verse 12. It says, For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh Bashim.
This is the first step, is to learn. The first step is to learn from others that's been in it before you, just like we all have to learn. Okay? And we're still learning. Okay? From men that are older than us. We're still learning. We're still grasping that wisdom and that knowledge, man. Okay? Go ahead. And some of these people want to be teachers, but they ain't never really been taught. It doesn't work that way. In order to be a good teacher, you have to be taught. In order to be a good leader, you got to be a good follower. That's how it happens. That's the order of things. Okay? Even the scripture says that, a prince deferred nothing from a servant, while he before he gets the throne, roughly paraphrasing. He want more than a servant because he has to learn how to rule by being a servant. You see that? That's how the Most High set it up. Oh, was not Yahweh Shai a servant? Was not Yahweh Shai? Did he not serve or shit, he was a servant even unto the brethren. He was a servant unto the brethren. He was a servant unto Israel. Okay, and you know, and until he was what? Until he was sent back up to the heavens and glorified and ruling. You understand what I'm saying? First, he has to go through that servitude, that humility, man. See, these people, they want to skip steps.
Yeah.
You can't. If you skip the steps, you ain't gonna get there. You're gonna do nothing but trip and fall back down, and remain right where you're at. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you can't understand power without understanding servitude.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yeah, because you're gonna receive power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not gonna have to know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're not gonna be able to basically relate to the person that's below you, since you know you never went through that step. You skipped that step, so you're just throwing orders around and shit and bargaining and not even being considerate. You know, power tripping. That's what that's what Esau basically is. You know, he's a power tripper.
Oh, he's an abuser. He is an abuser. Go ahead.
Just to finish off, it says, "Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first."
Well, you see how much Esau was an abuser in these different slave movies, man. Goodbye, Uncle Tom. 12 Years a Slave. They just finished working countless hours from like sundown to sundown, and they called him to come to dance and to smile. Now, why aren't you guys smiling? So this nigga's a demon. He's an actual demon. Go ahead.
It says, "Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat."
Oh, and they need milk. And I've been going into what the milk is, man. Okay? They need to understand the basics of the true basics of the scriptures, which is the fruits of the spirit. That's what they really need to understand. They don't even get that. They don't even get that. Talking about their teachers. They're not no teachers, man. Okay? Y'all are actors. That's what you are, a bunch of actors. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sit on that. What you got, brother?
Doesn't tie so.
Okay, go ahead, Zabak. Bring it up.
2 Timothy 2, and I'll start at 1. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushai, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also.
That's right. Right? So you're teaching teachers.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be, that's what it's written to Timothy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was supposed to teach teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were going to teach, and then in turn they were going to try to teach. They were going to teach teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is something that's supposed to be growing.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're teaching people that ain't even fit to be taught, this is going to be stagnant. All right. Go ahead, bro.
Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushai Hamashai.
Right. So like even the brothers that's in leadership positions, the brothers that's under brothers, you are learning to be leaders. You're leaders. You're leaders too. Okay. Go ahead.
That's it on that.
Okay. You got something? We can get the last scriptures. You got something more?
Yes. This is the book of Proverbs, 24 and verse 16. It says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief." So you can't, like earlier you made the point of how they can be falling for the same basic trials or the same tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be hip to it and know how to maneuver from it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep falling from the same thing, eventually you're just gonna stay on that same level.
Oh, we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices.
That's it. So you have to be hip to Satan's devices so that what you could tell the next brother. That's how Satan works, bro. That's Satan right there. From there you guide him and you fortify him, just like the Lord told Peter, and he told he wrote it down and gave it to us, so that what we know how to move around and maneuver and know Satan's tactics.
Hey, a predator loses his power if people know where he's at.
Yes, sir.
Right? So like the lion is trying to crawl through the grass. He's there. He has no power because he's not fast enough to burst from such a long distance.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, you gotta know what you're dealing with, man. And then that way it's not, he can't keep getting you with the same hook, same jab.
Yes, sir.
What else you got?
That was
Okay. Found something?
No.
Go use a bot.
It says here,
Okay.
1 Corinthians 3, and I'll start at 6 in the NLT.
Mhm.
I planted the seed in your heart, and Apollos watered it, but it was the Most High who made it grow.
That's right.
It is not important who does the planting or who does the watering. What is important is that the Most High makes the seed grow. The one who plants and the one who waters work together with the same purpose, and both will be rewarded for their own hard work. For we are both the Most High's workers, and ye are the Most High's field, and you are the Most High's building. So again, the work is the experience that we hand out, and the lessons that we bring forth, and the building up that we seek to do to the learners, which again they will learn from and teach unto others. So it's a process. It's a cycle that keeps going.
Mhm.
When you bring forth fruit, and your fruit brings forth fruit.
That's right. That's it. That's it, brother. You got something? No? Okay, so with that, we're going to close it. This is meant to be a quick lesson. Everything don't got to be long. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect, short and compact. And I'll say, Shalom, all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Akadash.
belongs to the apostles, elders, great millstone, Shalom.
Shalom.